Hello, hello, friends. Today, I want to kind of do something different, a little bit different than what I usually do here. And I want to talk about mindset. So, I actually started a little hashtag called Eden Mindset Moment. I thought about calling Mindset Minute, but I know that I will talk way more than minutes. So, let's just call it moments because I cannot do anything in minutes. So, today I want to talk about our mindset related to self care in general, and actually not really self care, but rest, and why we feel guilty when we rest. When we do anything that is rest related, when we take care of ourselves, when we take time to breathe, when we enjoy a good meal, like why do we feel guilty all the time? So that's what I want to talk about today in this mindset moment. And hopefully, this will be the first one of many because I love mindset moments. So, I have two cameras going on, so bear with me. I may be looking at you here, or I may be looking at you here. So, if you see my eyes going here and there, that's why. Okay. Also, let me see if I can share this on my personal page before I get started. So if you're watching, say hi so I can say hi back to you. If you're watching the replay, say hashtag replay so I know you watch it, and let me know where you're watching from. Okay. Let me share here real quick. Hold on. Yeah, I have a camera like right in front of my eyesight. So what I what I want to start today, I didn't share yet, but I first want to start sharing with you guys a thing that happened to me last year. Okay, and my computer is talking to me. It's a hot mess here. I am a hot mess here. Okay, so I want to start by sharing with you guys something that happened with me last year. I hold on, Siri, stop trying to get. Hold on, guys. Siri, stop trying to get my information. Okay. So something that happened to me last year. I I have a huge issue with working so much. I see several eyeballs. So if you're watching, say hi so I can say hi back to you. I want to see if I can see comments as well. Um, but I always had a problem with like working and hustle culture. I subscribed to hustle culture for a long time. If you know me for over a year, you know that I was big into hustle culture, working day and night, non-sleeping, like just getting ish done. I'm gonna try to keep this kid friendly because I know a lot of you have kids at home. And I went to an extreme burnout, right? Of course, because this happened. And then when I went to burnout, I tried to understand why why this happened. Why did I allow this to happen? Okay. So I'm going into like looking for information and people that go against hustle culture and like support the rest, right? Like rest and self care and all that stuff. And I I'm a person of faith, and I found a pastor that was talking about rest. And a funny thing is, especially if you're a person of faith, there is extra guilt into rest, which is weird because actually God demanded rest, right? Pretty much. Like every 7 days you got the Sabbath, like God designed rest for us. But if you're a person of faith, in a lot of circles of faith is like self-care is an idol, just because to trick you not to rest and like support the hustle culture, right? But then I found a pastor doing a sermon on rest, on how we should rest. And if you are not a person of faith, there is a lot of other contents too on rest that are non-faith related. It's just that that one was the one that spoke to me and caused the scenario that I'm going to share with you. Okay, so he was talking about how we need to rest and how not resting is actually not trusting in God and the divine. not trusting in the power of the spirit, right? Because you're trusting on yourself. Like, I have to work, I have to get this done. Like it's all on your back. That's why your back hurts, your head hurts. That's why you're so stressed because you think the whole world depends on you, right? And I was the first one to feel that way. Okay. I'm not talking about anybody else but myself. That's how I was feeling. And he said, just take some time, like go get a pedicure or something. Like it take 30 minutes to rest. And then I told my husband, I said, tomorrow I'm gonna go get a pedicure and I'm gonna like relax. And I thought it was gonna be easy, right? Like I'm gonna go get a pedicure and it's gonna be nice and sweet. But as I got there, I thought it was going to be like a 20-minute in and out. I haven't got a pedicure probably since I had kids. Back then it was like 7 years ago. My daughter is 8 now. That happened last year, and I was like, it's going to be 20 minutes in and out. And I got there, and it was amazing. They had the massage chair and the whole thing, but it took way more than 20 minutes, and I start having a blow panic attack because my kids were in school. That was my prime time for work, and I should be working, and I should not be getting a pedicure. And I'm so lazy. And like in my mind was just going over and over with guilt of me there getting a pedicure. Just a point on this story. Up to that time, I was working Sunday to Sunday, and I had started Eden. If you have started a business before, it's crazy. Like I didn't have a day of rest. I was working day, night, whatever time I was available to work, that my kids didn't need me because I also had three little kids. So anyway, I haven't had rest in a while. And then I sit there in the pedicure. I have a panic attack because I shouldn't be getting a pedicure in my mind, like my thoughts, right? That I shouldn't be getting a pedicure, that I should be working now because this is a prime time for work because my kids are at school and then they're going to be home and I'm not going to have time to concentrate and whatever. And then when I got, like, I was so stressed that I was telling the guy, the Dominés, like, you don't need to paint, just finish what you're doing. And when I got out of there, I was like, oh my gosh, I have a problem. I got a problem and it's huge and I need to do something about it, like right now. So I just jump on a journey to clear the beliefs that I have on my subconscious that we cannot rest, that we don't deserve rest, that we don't deserve self care, and their self-care is selfish, the self-care is an idol. So let's just, if, I know a lot of you that are here are people of faith, so let's just break the self-care is an idol thing and get this out of the way so we can move on and just go on to our brain and how that works, right? um an idol is when we believe that that thing is going to support us. So, one Bible verse that a lot of people use against money, and even if you never walk into a church once in your life, I'm sure you listened to this Bible verse before. It says, you cannot serve God and money. So, the original language of this Bible verse in Hebrew, it says, you cannot serve mammon and money. And mammon was poorly translated to money in English, and even the money word in Portuguese too. But that word mammon is actually mean anything that you put your trust in other than God. So when you put your trust in money or the food that you have in the pantry or your car or your house or your job, like put your trust in your job, or when you put your trust in anything that you have other than God, that's what an idol means. If you're not a person of faith, that does not matter to you. But if you're a person of faith, I'm just clarifying this because this is taught incorrectly in circles of faith for so long. Okay, so when you trust on anything besides God, that's an idol. So I never saw somebody actually trusting on self care. Contraire, we over trust our performance, our work. We over trust our the resources that we can bring ourselves, and that's why we work so hard and we think we don't have time to rest because we don't trust that if we do rest God will take care of us, or the spirit, or whatever you believe. Okay. Um, that the idol is actually the overwork and not the self-care. The self-care is actually you proving that your overwork is not your idol. So when like God revealed that to me, I was like, yeah, I have that. Like, I'm trying to avoid the idol of self-care, and I actually the real idol is actually the work. Okay, so I'm going to stop here because this is not only for people who has the same faith type than me. I want everybody to listen to this because we're going to talk about mindset as well. But this is important because this was something that was blocking me from stepping into rest, right? And even if you think of the script, so one last thing. It explains how work is actually way more of an idol than self-care could ever be. Second, rest is one of the things that God gave it to us, like on Genesis 1 and throughout the whole Bible. Okay, He wants us to rest. He's shown rest over and over and over again. So the idea that self-care is an idol or is selfish, that I'm going to be bold and say that is satanic. Okay. But I'm going to move on. Let's go to the next point, because that's why I didn't call mindset minute, because I cannot do anything in a minute. Okay. So let's talk about like limiting beliefs and how our brain works. Let's talk about science for a minute. Uh, we as humans, our brain is conditioned, right? So we have our conscious mind, our subconscious mind, and about 85 to 90% of what we do comes from our subconscious mind. So our subconscious mind has few basic needs, but the most important is being loved. When humans were created, there was a sense of community that was much needed for survival, and our subconscious mind is created to be loved. So that love means survival. Okay. So everything we do, our subconscious mind is holding us safe. That way we are safe, we're not going to die, and we are loved. Okay. So when we have beliefs like we have to work so hard for to prove, like, let's say I have three kids, two of them are in a school, one is a kindergarten, one is first grader. If I only show love to my kids when they get good grades, and I don't show the unconditional love when they have a bad grade or when they do something wrong, I'm teaching them that they're just going to be loved when they're responsible, when they're doing what is right. And I am creating a workaholic, okay? And I'm not saying we should just let our kids do whatever and not discipline them, but not showing love as a form of discipline is actually doing more bad than good, because it's creating a people pleasing, it's creating a workaholic, it's creating somebody that is not being their authentic self, and somebody that is afraid to make mistakes, because the biggest need is to be loved. And if they don't get loved, if they make a mistake, they're going to avoid mistakes at all costs. And that's what happened to us as an adult. Science has been discovering those subconscious things lately, right? Many of us, when we were kids, science haven't had that information yet. Our parents wouldn't know, or our grandparents wouldn't know, but now we have this information, so we can do it so much better. And I think the best way is to look at how we do our own lives, because for me, when I found myself not being able to get a pedicure because it's driving me crazy, because I think I should be working, it shows how my subconscious mind is telling me that unless I am being productive, I won't be loved. But my conscious mind never thought of that. But my subconscious mind is holding me back from taking the rest that I need, from doing the self care I need. And I'm not saying that the pedicure is the self care I need, but I'm saying it's a picture, it's an example of the bigger problem, right? So how can we in our own lives take a step back from that and pay attention on what goes through our mind, because science already gave us lots of research and proof that this um, primal, like caveman things stay in our subconscious mind. Okay, just like when we have a fear, I am scared to death of snakes. So if I see a snake, I will freeze. Like I can't do anything. It's panic. And that is because our subconscious mind is trained to either fight, fly, or freeze. Okay. Each one reacts different. Each situation reacts different. The thing is, when we are on a situation that is not really life or death, but because most of us are not fighting snakes or lions or bears every day, um, our subconscious mind find everyday triggers as life or death and treat as such. So going to get a pedicure on a time that I should be working gave me a panic attack because my subconscious mind saw that situation as life or death. Does that make sense? I know this is like super deep, but it's important for us to look at how our mind works, to understand why we feel guilty about self care, to understand why our schedule looks ridiculous. Like I have a calendar in my kitchen right now, and for the month of April, if I have 2 days that I don't have anything scheduled, is a lot. I think every single day in the month of April, I have something scheduled. And this is ridiculous. This is not how it should be. I should have time one day in a month to do absolutely nothing. Okay. I should have at least one day a week to do absolutely nothing, and I don't. So why are we overscheduling ourselves? Why are we saying yes for so many things that does not matter? Why are we putting our kids in 1,000 different sports and overworking them to exhaustion? And then they're moody, and then we complain that they're moody. Of course they're moody. They're 7 years old and they have more responsibilities than a lot of 35-year-old men. Okay. So we need to take a step back and try to understand why we focus so much on productivity, on work, on getting ish done, and we focus so less on actually enjoy this life that we've been given. Okay. So I'm going to stop here. I know this is super, super deep, but I do want to start a mindset minute with like something that was on my mind. I want to share this experience with you guys that I had in the nail salon. I will challenge you guys to take some time today to stop and think, what are you not doing because you feel guilty, because you believe that you should be working, or you believe that your kids should be doing so many sports, or you believe that your house needs to be Pinterest worthy of pictures any time of the day. Like, what are you doing that is not really your authentic self, but it's because of a false belief that unless you have X, Y, and Z done, you're not going to be loved. And it's hard. You have to dig deep because our conscious mind is going to be like, this is ridiculous. I'm already loved. I don't need anybody's love. But that's not your conscious mind. And your conscious mind only control about 10% of your actions. It's in your subconscious, deep, deep, deep down there. Okay. So it's a challenge. I know it's hard, but it's a challenge that I give it to you guys. And I promise you that it will put you on a journey to live a happier life. I promise you guys. I love you all, and I hope you have a great day. Bye bye.